Right, Golf Swing Weekly Fix time. Mark Crossfield here. We're talking pre-shot routines. You'll see all the best using their routines, very fixed. Let's talk about what they could do for your golf game or not. Let's get stuck in. So, pre-shot routine. I mean, I remember growing up watching golfers and I could actually recreate their pre-shot routine. So what that meant is they were doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, the idea with a pre-shot routine, it's there to maybe try and keep you focused, no matter if you're playing good or bad. It's there to try and help you control your emotions to a certain extent, to try and go through a process to make this game kind of as repeatable, if you like, as possible. So let's just talk you through my pre-shot routine. So let's say I've chosen my club and I'm at the ball and I'm ready to fire. So that's part of my pre-shot routine, which we'll show you. There's other parts which we'll talk about as well. So I'm going to step behind the ball. I'm going to choose my shot, which I've chosen prior to choosing my club. I'm going to pick my target. What I would do is I would have 1 or 2 practice swings behind the ball, just to make sure I'm happy with how I'm touching the ground and how I'm feeling the club moving around my body. I'm standing behind, picking my target. I'm moving in, grip set as I move in, setting my posture, my body aim, my feelings, getting them to feel right. My waggles are there to make me try and settle and just make sure my brain's in the right place to hit the shot. And then I'm going to pull the trigger. And anyone who watches me on the course vlogs, you're going to see me doing that nearly every shot I do. I think I've used that pre-shot routine since I can remember, really. Now, pre-shot routines, I have changed them in the past to try different ones. And I think that's the key point here. You need to find a routine that you're comfortable doing and that works for you to a certain extent. Now, there's certain issues with pre-shot routines that I see with golfers. Some of them try to do things maybe a little bit too much. So we get the kind of 20 practice swings, standing behind the ball, coming in, backing off. You know, it needs to be efficient on time. It needs to be efficient on you getting there and hitting a shot and not lingering over it for too long. And the other thing I feel really I need the pre-shot routine to do is to get me really comfortable to hit that shot, get me in that frame of mind. That's exactly how I'm using it. Now, when it comes to pre-shot routines as well, I personally am quite a big fan of an emotional pre-shot routine. So what I will do, and have done all my life in sport, is I can sometimes have a slight change to my pre-shot routine as my emotions change. So as I get a little bit more angry, I might take less practice swings, I might take a little bit less time to line up, I might just pull that trigger a little bit faster. Now, lots of people would say that's a bad thing. That's exactly why you've got the pre-shot routine. You've got to kind of slow you down in every situation. Well, for me personally, and this is where I think the main point with pre-shot routine is so clear, or has to be really clear, is it has to work for you. What I found as I played, certainly in match play, which I played a lot as an amateur, is it would show my partner that I'm angry. It would show my opponent that I've got some emotions and some fire, and they would often react. So I would kind of force a reaction out of them. It wasn't a conscious effort to do this. I would just notice this happening. It was much more a battle with me internally than it was to try and affect them in any way. And different players react in different ways. Some try to beat you a bit more and then they struggle. Some kind of laugh at you. You can see them, you're getting frustrated. They feel like they've got an upper hand. But it puts a different spin. And often for me, it made me play a little better. Big fan of McEnroe growing up. As you could tell, he very much changed his routine as his emotions changed in a match. He used it to his advantage. So it's about getting that pre-shot routine to really work for you. Find that personal one. Again, just be careful on how long you might be taking. Now, things I'm looking for. So if I'm stood behind this ball, looking at my shot, my pre-shot routine is going to be about picking lines. I'm trying to see lines in my head. I'm seeing ball to target lines in my head, feet parallel to ball to target lines, hips and shoulders for me is how I like to stand. I'm looking at where the trouble is in my pre-shot routine and making sure I'm comfortable with the club I've got, that it won't hit that trouble, or that I'm aware that it might. So I'm taking on a gamble or I'm playing safe. So let's pretend there's trouble on the right here. I'm going to have a pre-shot routine. It's going to be looking more at the left side of the green. I'm checking where the wind's coming from. I'm really working everything in my routine into protecting from that trouble or going for it. So it's a very specific thing to get my mind in that right place. And for me, I think the biggest thing, it's interesting when I speak with amateurs, is their vision. So I am seeing literally physical lines in my mind's eye between the face down to the target line. I'm seeing from the feet to that target line, even where I feel like I'm going to swing the club. And I've got a very physical shot in my head, so a shaper shot. As soon as that ball flies off, it is fulfilling or not that pre-shot routine mind's eye picture of what I wanted that shot to do, which I think is why you'll see lots of people on the telly when they hit shots that go not too far offline. So the pros, they hit a shot, maybe starts more right than they wanted, they come off, the hand come off, so they're disappointed. It's because it's not fulfilling that pre-shot routine, that preconception of what they had of that shot, and that worries them. They want to be pulling off what they're imagining. Now, great thing for you guys and girls to do at home with pre-shot routine is when you get to a range, or if you're lucky enough to go out and play on the course and practice, try a few different ones. See where you visualize the shot better from, see where you perform better, where you have your different practice swings. So if you're having it down the line behind, or if you're having it to the side, try some shots where you have no pre-shot routine. So you literally pick the club, just stand in there and hit it. Play with some different ways of working out what works for you to get the most out of your game. I know, you know, you get someone like Sevi used to play, have no waggles, so he'd have no setting, none of this. He would just set that club and shoot. Someone like Lee Trevino would be there a lot longer, maybe kind of waggling around and then hitting. It's finding that right system for you to help you hit the shot and see the shot as much as possible. So practicing on the range, I would definitely pick targets. So I'm going to go, say, over to this left-hand tire over here. Again, seeing the same lines, I'm going to go with no pre-shot routine here, hit one. So just more like a regular practice shot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one in there and I'm going to break my practice up. I'm going to come behind, do my routine. So I'm going to pick my target, almost seeing lines, like I say, all the way. I'm not really picking something in front of me. I kind of am and carrying that line on, going in, stepping up, hitting that shot. So I'm actually practicing my swing, my golf, but I'm practicing what I'm going to do on the course as well. So many people on a range are just literally machine gunning, hit, next one in, hit, next one hit. Take a bit of time on some of them just to do that pre-shot routine. I wouldn't do it with every shot, but I would certainly work that in a bit more into your practice as you get out there. Now, the next thing you could do when you get on the course, which I really like to see people do, is I want to ask them, I want you to be very aware of where your miss is with certain clubs. So I want you to, if I'm walking with you up a fairway, I want to say, right, you've got a 200-yard shot in here. Where would you normally miss your 4-iron, which you're about to hit? You're probably going to be a 4-iron or a hybrid, say. I want to know that answer straight away. I want you to be aware. I want to be using that data and work it into that pre-shot routine. So when you're stood behind the ball, I'm going to say, right, where are you aiming here? I want you to instantly go, right, I'm aiming a bit more to the left, because I tend to always hit this one a bit more to the right. So it's about using that data that you play with. It's about working it into that routine to try and see and visualize that shot. The trickiest thing for golfers is they stand there, they do all the pro kind of lining up stuff, and then they stand there and obviously don't pull off the shot, hit a rubbish one, and they feel silly. So for those people out there feeling that way, maybe a shorter, more efficient routine would be the answer for you. Pre-shot routines are brilliant. Definitely helps you control your emotions in either ways. How I said it helped me actually speeding up on some of my ones, actually helped me kind of get some anger out and express to my playing partners that I'm kind of want to win this and I'm coming at them, certainly in a match-play situation. Find a system that works for you best and then stick with it. My routine hasn't really changed, apart from a bit of emotional base, for years and years. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, all the normal social places. Also, come and visit my new website, markcrossfieldgolf.com. See you over there.